Well, thanks very much to Paul and Amy, and a big thanks in advance to Amy Palmer, who is hopefully going to be helping out with the championship points situation as the day goes on, because those who are regular listeners to my commentaries know how terrible I am at mathematics. Anyway, cars on their way to the grid then. We'll have a look at the grid for this first Britcar Endurance Championship race of the day. The front row of the grid, we will see the Ferrari and the number 41 Ginetta heading up the grid for this one. In pole position it is the Ginetta, only just, the Ferrari I should say, only just, as you can see there, getting the marginally quicker time. Bon Grimes will start the Ferrari, sharing with pro driver Johnny Molin. Alongside them will be the number 41 Innovation Ginetta. Luke Bennett will start that car, sharing with Daniel Wiley. On the second row of the grid, it will be numbers 18 and 74. Number 18 will be started by Ash Muldoon, sharing with James Kellett, and Don Malone will start the similar Porsche, also run by Amspeed, sharing with Adam Smalley. Malone and Smalley have done the majority of the race winning outright so far this year. Row 3, number 23, the Woodrow Motorsport BMW of Nathan Wells. He drives solo alongside the Ginetta running the invitation class, which will be started by Michael Nibbs, sharing with pro driver Aidan Hills. Row 4, 189, one of the outsiders for the title here today, Martin Addison, at the wheel of his Aston Martin Vantage GT4. Will start alongside Chris Bingham, also driving solo at the wheel of the number 63 Ginetta G55. No Michael Lyons in that car this weekend. Completing the top 10, the TCR Audi of number 11 Jack Constable starts alongside the number 47 Ginetta. Maurizio Cilio will start that car, sharing with Marco Anastasi. On the sixth row, number 26, the Innovation Motorsports Ginetta will be started by Simon Griffiths, sharing with Sevin Christian, alongside the number 40 BMW, started by Brian Branson, sharing with Jazz Sapra. Row 7, number 10, Callum Bates will start his BMW alongside the number 118 Ginetta. David May will start. I'll hand over to Mark Skeets at the pit stop. Row 8 is the Wilson family and the number 22 Ginetta. Ian Wilson will start. Elliott will take over. Number 3 Ginetta alongside will be started by Nick Casey. Brazilian Adriano Medeiros, the pro racer, the former single-seater racer, will take over. On row 9, we heard from Alex Reed during the lunch break, the Caterham Motorsports boss, but he will be racing his TCR Cupra in this one for the JLC Group team, and touring car star Dan Lloyd will be sharing with him. Alongside him, number 721 Chris Murphy in his BMW M3. On row 10, it's the Wheeler family. Number 24, Michael Wheeler will start. His father Richard will take over their McLaren 570S. Alongside them is young gun Archie Buttle, who shares with Freddie Ingram at the wheel of their Ginetta G56 GTA. The 11th row of the grid, number 297, that's the car run by Paul O'Neill and his team. Carl Garnett starts that car. Darren Lewis, good to see him on a return to racing, takes over. And then it's Alias Smith and Jones alongside. Number 36, Mark Smith will start the BMW M3. Former British touring car man Carl Jones will take over. Row 12, the Harrison family. Number 62, James Harrison starts their Ginetta. Steve Harrison will take over. Number 7, it's the TCR Cupra started by Rob Ellick, sharing with Finn Jones. Row 13, the Hayes family. They're in title contention if they can beat Team Brit. Number 114, Jamie Hayes starts. Chris will take over. And alongside them, the Audi TT, number 77, started by Craig Fleming, sharing with Mark Jones. Row 14, number 888, started by Andrew Dauber. Nathan Wright will take over the BMW M2. Alongside number 12, Cedric Bloch, the French-born racer in his TCR Audi, which races with hand controls. Row 15, Steve Fresel in his Ginetta will share with the very quick Jack Mitchell in their Ginetta G55. Alongside number 29, the Jam Sports Subaru TCR car. And that will be started by Liam Turnbull, sharing with Jensen O'Neill Going, the 16-year-old. Team Brits are the championship leaders in their BMW. Car number 4 will be started by Asher Silva, sharing with Bobby Trundley, alongside the Alfa Giulia, which will be started by the car's owner Barry McMahon, sharing with Paul Plant. And at the back of the grid, number 13, which is Tom McFarlane in the VW Scirocco. So it is the Ferrari on pole position. Bon Grimes sharing with pro driver Johnny Molam, who's raced everything in sports cars, up to and including the Le Mans 24 Hours a few years ago. We'll start alongside the Ginetta at the front of the field. A lot of Ginettas out there running in various classes. The class structure we've got the challenge class, which is the quickest cars towards the front of the field. We've also got the GT category, the trophy class, the dedicated Ginetta class for G55 Super Cup cars, the Cup class further back, which is where you'll find Team Brit number 4 and the 114 Seat Super Copa of the Hayes family, and the TCR class cars down there as well. Only a couple of TCRs on this grid. A lot of cars running in invitation classes this weekend, so they won't score points. Talking of points, leading the championship, Bobby Trundley and Asher Silver's BMW on 279. Don Malone and Adam Smalley's Porsche, the Amspeed car, is on 268s. Chris and Jamie Hayes in the Seat Super Copa on 248.5. They're in the same class as Bobby Trundley and Asher Silver, so an interesting dice between them. Chris Murphy's 4th overall on 245 in his BMW in the trophy class. The GT class leader Chris Bingham is next, but as we say, no Michael Lyons, the pro driver we normally see in that car this weekend. Chris Bingham is solo. 6th is the TCR class leader Rob Ellick and Finn Jones. Bingham's on 243 and Ellick and Jones on 242. 7th in the championship, Maurizio Sciglio and Marco Anastasi, the Italian pair based in Scotland, in their Ginetta G55 Super Cup. They're on 239.5, and Martin Addison's Aston Martin is on 231. Those are the 8 cars that are mathematically in contention for the championship. So that's your lineup. The Ferrari leads them round. Had a couple of wins at Snetterson, if memory serves me right, earlier this year, but it's been Don Malone and Adam Smalley who've done the majority of the race winning outright this year. In the Amspeed Porsche, run by Mark Smith's family, Aaron Moulton-Smith is the man behind Amspeed, a very quick racer himself in Porsches and BMWs over the years. Dan Lloyd's had some overall wins as well, with Stephen Gambrell in his Porsche 991. But that car disappeared midway through the season. So Ferrari, Ginetta, then 2 Porsches, then the BMW M3 GTR of Nathan Wells. Aston Martin's in there, TCR cars, the Audi of Jack Constable well up. Lots of BMWs down the order. There's the TCR Cupra number 14 with Alex Reed on board. Fine sight they make, 33 cars out there. There's the Subaru TCR car from Jam Sport, a backup car after their BMW was involved in a shunting free practice earlier on. So they've got the backup car out of the trailer. Okay, here we go then. The pace car is in pit lane. It's time to go racing. 45 minutes. Pit lane opens 18 minutes in. It's a very short pit window though. Bon Grimes in the Ferrari will lead them away. The Ginetta number 41 of Luke Bennett alongside him. We are underway here at Brands Hatch in the sunshine. The front row pulls away. Already moving through into 3rd place is Don Malone, the all-white Porsche ahead of his teammate Ash Muldoon. That's the car with the red stripe down the centre, and Bennett's not holding back here. He's going for the inside into Druids. There's a bit of contact with the Ferrari there. Ginetta up the inside, and it's taken the lead. Number 41 of Luke Bennett. He's not racing for points today, Luke Bennett's number 41 with Daniel Wiley, but that car could be a contender for overall victory anyway, and it's taken the lead from Bon Grimes in the red Ferrari 488 Challenge car. Then the 2 Porsches. Nathan Wells is in 5th position. Then in 6th, Michael Nibbs at the wheel of the Ginetta. He shares with Aidan Hills, the former Mazda MX-5 champion. It's Chris Bingham's Ginetta, still a contender for the title. They make their way around the completion of lap number 1. Where's our championship leader? We look towards the back of the field. There is Asher Silver moving up on the outside there in the BMW. Last man through is the Alfa Romeo, Barry McMahon in the Alfa Giulia, sharing with Paul Plant, both of them long-time Alfa racers. The 3 there, Nick Casey, led the points early on in the season, but then dropped away with a few problems with the Ginetta. Battling it out in the midfield as they make their way through Graham Hill Bend. There's Chris Murphy in the E36 M3, just ahead of the pink and blue Cupra. Along the Cupra Straight, you might call it in this one, up towards Surtees and McLaren. Number 11 is Jack Constable in the TCR Audi, lovely looking machine that is. Chris Bingham on his tail there in 8th and 9th positions. They complete the second lap. And it is Luke Bennett, number 41 in the Ginetta G56 GT Evo, who leads the way. 47.3 in already. That's the treble eights BMW of Andrew Dauber and Nathan Wright. It looks like they're checking something in the steering there, unfortunately, so problems for Dauber and Wright. I wonder if he's had some contact at the start of the race. The BMW M2, which is run by the Brookspeed team. So Andrew Dauber in the pits, and also I noticed the Subaru TCR is showing as not having come round on the opening lap, unfortunately, of Liam Turnbull and Jenson O'Neill going, so Jam Sport in trouble again, unfortunately. There is the Ferrari of Bon Grimes in second place. Third position it is Dom Malone, the ex-BMW racer. There's his teammate Ash Muldoon. Nathan Wells is fifth. Ginetta of Michael Nibbs in sixth position, sharing with Aidan Hills. This race, it's mostly the AM category drivers starting. The pro drivers will take over later on. Of course, if you have a pro-graded driver in the car has to serve an extra 20 seconds at its mandatory pit stop to even things up a little. Balance of performance done through the timing for the pit stops. The standard mandatory time for a pit stop on this Brands Hatch Indy circuit is 130 seconds minimum for your pit stop. You do get a penalty if you have a too short pit stop. Pit window will open when there's 27 minutes left on the clock, 18 minutes into the race. It only stays open for 9 minutes, so you've got a short window to make your mandatory stop. Easy for the photographers to take pictures of during this race. We see some of them at work now. So it is Luke Bennett in the clear then, in the number 41 Ginetta. It will share with Daniel Wiley, an ex-Ferrari racer. He's nearly 2 seconds clear, that Ginetta, at the moment. Of Bon Grimes in second place, the businessman turned racer. Bon Grimes founded the Skyscanner travel company several years ago, coached by Johnny Molan. Now, I think the 29 car, yes, it is out there, the Subaru. My mistake, his transponder's not working. That's why it was shown as having not completed any laps. It is an emergency backup car. It was being raced by Jenson O'Neill going in the TCR UK Championship here at Brands Hatch last weekend. He and Liam Turnbull were supposed to be racing a BMW, but that's had an accident in free practice this morning, and they've switched to the TCR car as a bit of a backup. Try and pick it up somewhere down the order. There's the number 36 BMW going through. That's the Smith and Jones car, Mark Smith and Carl Jones. There's number 297, the car run by Paul O'Neill and his team, the TCR commentator. It's Carl Garnett on board at the moment, and he'll share with Darron Lewis. To have Darron back in there, a former TCR racer himself. I first saw Darron Lewis race back in 2004 in a banger race at Birmingham Wheels Raceway. Further down the order, there's the Subaru, fourth in this group. There it is, the WRX, one of the Ginettas up behind it there. It's the number 43 of Steve Fresno, I think. There are the leaders, already lapping some back markers. Number 13, VW Scirocco of Tom McFarlane has been lapped. So no change among the leaders at the moment, with 6 laps completed. I think we can hand down to pit lane to find out what's happened to the 888 Brookspeed BMW.
What's happened here? Just explain quickly, because you've come in a bit early.
Say again?
Just explain very quickly, you've come in a bit early.
Oh yeah, well somebody hit the side of the car that drew it. So as I was turning in, and it's bent the suspension.
And
So now.
And when something like this happens, are you hoping to go back out now?
Yeah, if we can.
And what's your game plan from now?
Say again?
What's your game plan from now?
To get back out as soon as we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to Amy there. We find out the reason why that treble 8 Brook Speed BMW was in the pits. It was a bit of
Is
contact
the audio okay on that? Yeah.
on the opening lap. It was contact on the Rotor Druids and suspension damage for the treble 8 car, which is still in pit lane. Hopefully they'll make it back out. As we see the lower reaches of the top 10 make their way through. There goes David May in the Jetta, and we've got a car in the gravel. Oh, it's Alex Reed, the number 14. That's the JLC Group Cupra, the shares with Dan Lloyd, touring car star, but one of our TCR classes. And that's the championship leader. Team Brits, are they out of the race? There's damage to the left front. Now, have those two had contact? That's our championship leading car. Safety car is being scrambled, but this is a very big development very early in our first race. The car of Asher Silver and Bobby Trundley, the points leading car, it looks like is out of the race with damage to the left front. What has happened? Was there contact with the 14 car? We'll try and establish what has happened there. Another car that's dropped down the timing screen is the number 3, Ginetta. There it is. That's Nick Casey's car. Has stopped next to the pit lane entrance with possible damage as well. What has happened towards the end of the lap? There's another car coming in, which I think that was Chris Murphy's car coming in. Yes, it is. That's another possible championship contender. Chris Murphy, the pit window is a long way from opening. There's a lot of our contenders in trouble here. Now this is playing into the hands, I think, of Dom Malone and Adam Smalley, because they're 11 points off the championship lead coming into this race. Now, where are Chris and Jamie Hayes? We've got to look for the 114 car. They're leading the Cup class. Now, they're 20 points down on Malone and Smalley. Those are the two cars that this is all playing into the hands of. Safety car is out, has picked up our leader. Try and get more context from our reporters down in the pits as to what has happened there, because it looks as though our championship leading car, the number 4 BMW, could be out of the race. They didn't have a happy qualifying. Well, there is Chris Murphy's BMW going out of pit lane. So he's had a problem somewhere. We didn't see what it was. The former Aston Martin racer in the M3. Just looking towards... yeah, I'm just hearing the PA commentary there. Yes, the red light's on at the end of the pit lane. So I thought Chris Murphy was heading back to the paddock at first, but no, he's been held at the end of the pit lane because the crocodile of cars is going past the pit lane exit. But what has happened to our championship leaders? We've got Alex Reed and Dan Lloyd's car in the gravel at Clearways. There's Nick Casey's car. You can see damage on the right rear corner of that car. Now, damage on the right rear corner. It looked like damage on the left front corner of the BMW. We don't want to jump to conclusions, but I wonder if those two cars have collided. I think we can head down to pit lane to find out what's happened to Chris Murphy's BMW.
I'm with Ed from Woodward Motorsport. Obviously the car just came in, Chris just came in. What was the reason behind that?
Somebody's hit him in the side, just a little rub. It's not too much damage, but just pushed the bodywork onto the tyre and was filling the car up with smoke. He's come in and we've moved it away from the tyre and he should be all right now.
And for the rest of the race now, how are we going to manage this as a team?
Well, we're outside the pit window, so that doesn't count as our mandatory stop, so we're going to have to stop again anyway. We don't need fuel or anything, so we'll hope for another safety car during the pit window and see if we can capitalise on that and see where we end up. Awesome,
thank you so much, and back to the commentary team.
Yes, thank you, Amy. Catching up with, oh, look at Callum Bates's car as well. I just noticed there, the number 10 has got damage too. There's a lot of cars that have had contact in the early stages of this race. Case of too many cars in too small a space, with 33 of them out there, I think. But yes, they were absolutely right there. Chris Murphy's stop was outside the pit window, so he's going to have to stop again when the pit window opens in about 6 minutes' time. Will the safety car still be out then? Or will we be back to green flag racing? The number 14 Cupra are about to be removed from the Clearways gravel trap. So the race order is Luke Bennett in the Ginetta leading the way, running in the challenge class, but that's an invitation car. So the leading point scoring car is the Ferrari in second place of Bond Grimes. Don Malone is in third. This is all playing into the hands of Malone and Chris and Jamie Hayes in the Cup class, because their class rivals and the championship leaders, there they are, out of the race. Even if they get going, there'll be a lot of laps down. Fourth place is Ash Muldoon in the second of the Amspeed Porsches. Rounding out the top five, Nathan Wells BMW. Sixth is Michael Nibbs Ginetta G55 Super Cup. Seventh is Martin Addison's Aston Martin, the Vantage GT4, a new car for him over the last couple of rounds, the plant hire businessman from the northeast. Chris Bingham's Ginetta is 8th and 3rd in the GT class, which is being led by Nathan Wells. There is Nathan. 9th is Jack Constable, a guest driver in his Audi. There's the Audi. 10th place is the number 26 Ginetta, being driven by Simon Griffiths. That's a GT class car, I think. Yes, 4th in the GT class. The Ginetta class is being led by Michael Nibbs. Trophy class by Brian Branson in BMW number 40, shared with Jazz Sapra. Who's leading the TCR class? It's the Jones Ellick number 7 car. There's the treble 8 BMW rejoining of Andrew Dorber. They've of course got to stop again when the pit window opens. So under the safety car here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit in the first of our two Britcar Endurance Championship races of the day/night. In the dark later on. I think in a moment we can head down to pit lane, but we've got a traffic jam at Paddock Hill Bend. They'd almost gone to a dead stop there. Not sure what happened there. But I think we can now head down to pit lane. Well, we see there the number 14 car has been towed out of the gravel and will be back in the paddock. Damage to the left front corner on that car. So maybe it was that car who collided with the number 3 Ginetta, we don't know. Do keep your comments coming in. To Daniel Martinez, as a shout out to Sevin Christian, who's in the number 26 Ginetta after the pit stops. Simon Griffiths in that car at the moment. Safety car continues, leading the pack around. Luke Bennett and Daniel Wiley's Ginetta still the leader. Two minutes until the pit window opens, and if the safety car is still out then, it will be everybody in. Including the two BMWs already seen coming, because of course their stops were outside the window. There's one back marker between first and second place at the moment. There's the Subaru. Just ahead of Cedric Bloch, the number 12 in his Audi TCR. The driver who races with hand controls sadly broke his back in a motorcycle racing accident a few years ago. Have to feel for Team Brit as well. Team that's looking to become the first all-disabled team to compete in the Le Mans 24 Hours. And we've seen many of their drivers in the Britcar Endurance Championship over the last few years. Asher Silver and Bobby Trundley racing for them today. Bobby Trundley, the UK's highest ranked autistic racing driver. Asher Silver currently in the car. So sadly, that car appears to be out of the race. "15 laps completed now. Pit window will be opening shortly. So I suspect if the safety car stays out, everybody will be into the pits next time around. McLaren going through, that's the Wheeler family car. Richard Wheeler and I believe it's his son Michael he's sharing with. Fox Transport team, they've run all manner of cars over the years, including super touring cars we've seen here at Brands Hatch. Richard Wheeler's got a couple of Nissan Primeras in his stable. The pit window is now open. Safety car still out, so I think it's going to be everybody in to make their mandatory stop. Not for this car though. That's Nick Casey and Adriano Medeiros' Ginetta out of the race, unless they can do some judicious work on it very quickly. Well, the Ferrari leads them in. Looks like the race leader has stayed out. Bon Grimes leads them in. The Alfa Romeo comes in. One of the Amspeed Porsches, that's Don Malone. In fact, both the Amspeed Porsches are in. Number 43 Ginetta, I think that is of Stephen Fresel, has come in. And most of the field, and number 3 Data Motorsport car being wheeled back out of the way into the garage. Going to have to be careful here because as their own car come in here, there's a couple more Ginettas. Yes, Maurizio Cilio has come in for Data Motorsport. He's going to struggle to find somewhere to stop with the recovery vehicle in front of his garage. So, who's stayed out? Well, the race leader Luke Bennett has. Jack Constable has stayed out. The Griffiths and Christian Ginetta has stayed out. The Subaru is still there. Chris Murphy has stayed out. The Hayes family's Seat Super Copa is still there. Tom McFarlane's Scirocco. And I think that's about all. Everybody else has pitted. So it's going to be a NASCAR-esque race off pit road here. There's the Seat Leon Super Copa. That's Jamie Hayes. He's still racing on. We've just gone back to green, I can tell you. The safety car has just come in. And nearly the whole field is in pit lane. So your race leader on track now, because Bennett followed the safety car into pit lane. Your race leader on track, I think, is going to be Jack Constable in the Audi TCR car. So Jack Constable, will he go in this time? No, he wants to lead a couple of laps. And now the order is going to be totally jumbled because nearly the whole field's in pit lane. It's going to be completely confused when everybody comes back out. Ferrari's back out there, with Johnny Molen now on board. The pro drivers will have taken over. Yes, Adam Smalley is in the number 74 Porsche. Darron Lewis will take over the number 297 Ginetta. Good to have him back in the championship, the man from Birmingham. There's Nathan Wells in the BMW. There's the Ferrari. Johnny Molen, one of Britain's great GT racers, has now taken the wheel. Take the rest of the race to list his accomplishments in the sport. Jack Constable and Tom McFarlane, number 13 in the Scirocco. They're the only two cars that haven't pitted now, because the Hayes family have come in. Jamie handing over to Chris. We can see that car down there at the bottom right of your picture. They're one of our championship contenders.
2 minutes.
Hopefully hear from that team shortly. So the leading car that has already made a stop, I believe, is now the Ferrari, ahead of Adam Smalley in the number 74 Porsche. And then Chris Murphy's BMW hasn't made its second stop yet, so that's still up there in P5. So we'll have to wait for the order to settle down so everybody's made their stops. But I think it's the de facto race leader now. The first car that has made a pit stop is the Ferrari. Now, what's the margin they've got over Adam Smalley's Porsche? It's 4.2 seconds. So there's your leader. In fact, there's second place. They're the de facto top two as the Seat Leon leaves the pit lane with Chris Hayes now on board. So everybody except Chris Murphy, I think, has now made their mandatory stop. Yeah, the Treble 8 car is coming for a second time, according to the timing screen. So Nathan Wright will take over that car. There is a yellow flag on the run into Surtees and McLaren. What has happened there? Pick that up in a moment if we can, because the Ferrari of Johnny Molen is up with some back markers here, weaving his way past Richard Wheeler's McLaren there ahead of him, the number 24. Ahead of them is the Subaru. That was close. Richard Wheeler hasn't noticed that Johnny Molen's there. I don't think he cut straight across his nose coming up Halewood Rise. That could have been a disaster. And now he's boxed in behind the Subaru as well. Get out of the way, says Johnny Molen. He just about gets through there with number 29, which I think is now Jensen O'Neill going on board that car. The 16-year-old at the wheel of the Subaru. There's yellow flags waving on the road to Surtees and McLaren. We know not why at the moment. Just trying to see if anybody's dropping down the timing screen here. There's the number 36 BMW. That's Carl Jones now on board that car. Raced Sierra Cosworth in the British Touring Car Championship back in the late 80s. Still going strong in historic racing. Sharing Mark Smith's car today. Mark's been racing that BMW for many years in various series. Dominic Malone's Porsche now driven by pro driver Adam Smalley. Running in second place and closing on Johnny Molen. Has lost a bit of time after that little slip up with the back markers. Now Malone and Smalley will want to catch Johnny Molen if they can here. They want to win this race because they'll know that the car that's leading them in the points, the Team Brit BMW, is out of the race. There's the number 41 that was leading before the pit window on the back of the Alfa Romeo with Paul Plant on board. That's Alfa looking fairly quick in Paul's hands here. I think we can head down to the pit lane in a moment, now that things have calmed down a bit down there.
And Boxley Motorsport, you've come in now. What's happened out there? Just tell us, sum it up.
Nick was driving the car and he broke the drive shaft. If we look down here, the drive shaft is on the floor there. You can see the drive shaft has been broken, and we will just try to go out. I'm going to go out now just to check everything's okay for the night race.
And what's your race plan now for the rest of it?
Well, now we cannot do much, okay? Basically, just try to make sure the car is ready for the next race, and hopefully we're going to have a better luck on the next race.
Awesome. Good luck out there. Thank you so much. Back to the commentary box.
Thanks, Amy. Yes, hearing from Adriano Medeiros, the Brazilian, very experienced racer indeed in the number 3 Ginetta. So it was a broken drive shaft after a bit of contact on that car. That's why they came to a halt in the pit lane entrance. And that car is repaired and moving your head back out there at the tail of the field. Meanwhile, there are the two leaders, and look at the way Adam Smalley is hunting down Johnny Molen for the lead. It's all going the way of the Amspeed Porsche at the moment in this battle. Meanwhile, the Alfa Romeo gets jumped by one of the Ginetta, that's number 42, with Freddie Ingram now on board, and the leaders are nose to tail, and they're coming up to lap the number 41 car that was leading prior to the pit stops. Round the outside goes the Ferrari. He's put the car in between the two lead battlers there. Won't take long for the Porsche to get through, I'm sure. No, he's got through on the run into Druids. So Bolem from Adam Smalley. The third place car now is the number 18 of Muldoon and James Kellett, the second amp-speed Porsche. James Kellett, another very, very quick GT racer. He's got the fastest lap of the race, 46.4 seconds. Is up to third, ahead of Nathan Wells. Jack Constable's still up there in fifth place in his TCR Audi. I think we can head back down to Amy Palmer in pit lane in just a moment. We'll do that because we could see a move here. Watch for Adam Smalley here up on the outside as they come into Paddock Hill Bend. Johnny Molem holds him off there, nose to tails. A couple of back markers ahead there. One of them is one of the Ginettas, another is Cedric Block in the Audi TCR car. Johnny Molem just about staying ahead. Oh, look out, back markers, that was close. The 22 car there nearly got elbowed wide. Elliot Wilson trying to keep out of the way. As well, there's a brief respite in that battle. We'll head down to pit lane.
You were in championship running, you still are, but Team Brit have had a bit of a problem out there on track. How are you feeling right now?
I would like to say smug, but unfortunately that's how motorsport goes, and we had the same thing with us at Thruxton 3 or 4 rounds ago. So to be honest, they're still in it, they could get their car repaired, so at the end of the day we're still in the fight. It's good for us, but I don't think they're out just yet, so let's see, but it's good for us.
You've come in and you pitted. How was it out on track there? Because it is a bit chaotic from the outside.
Honestly, utter carnage, because we're quite slow compared to everyone else, so we have to stay out of the way whilst trying to not compromise our race. And we had a really good start. We made up 6-7 places really good because our tyres warm up a bit quicker being front wheel drive, but yeah, carnage, absolute carnage. But yeah, we're still in the fight, car's going well, so we're all good.
Good luck for the rest of the race. Thank you for speaking. Back to the commentary box.
Yes, thanks Amy. It was a bit carnage in the early stages, wasn't it, out there? Meantime, there come the lead battlers into Paddock Hill Bend, and Adam Smalley is all over the back of Johnny Molem. He could get past here with a bit of luck on the run into Druids. He's going through. Smalley takes the lead in the 74 car from Johnny Molem. Takes a special driver to be able to overtake Johnny Molem here at Brands Hatch as a marker pole goes flying there, courtesy of Jazz Sapra's BMW. And look at the way Smalley is fairly rocketing away from the Ferrari now. This is exactly what John Malone and Adam Smalley wants. They could be on to take the lead of the championship with one race to go here later on tonight. Johnny Molem down to second in the Ferrari. Let's have a look at the class leaders now then. The challenge class is led by Smalley and Malone. The GT class by Nathan Wells. The trophy class by Darron Lewis and Carl Garnett in 6th place in the new Ginetta, the 297 car. Further down, the Ginetta Super Cup class is led by David May and Mark Skeets, the Irish pair, in 10th place, the number 118. The TCR class is led by Finn Jones and Rob Ellick in their Cupra, the green number 7 car. What about the Cup class? That's being led by the Hayes family, number 114. That's exactly where they need to be, leading their class. Marco Anastasi has pulled back into the pits in the number 47 Ginetta. So they've had a problem somewhere. I think that's all the class leaders rounded up in the meantime. Of course, they're separate invitation. Some of them are invitation runners and won't be scoring points, but those are your main class leaders. We'll do the mathematics at the end of the race. It's Adam Smalley continuing to lead. James Kellett, his teammate there with the white Porsche with the red stripe down. It still has the fastest lap of the race. He took over from Ash Muldoon. He's in third. Jack Constable has just come in for a second stop. He's got a stop-go penalty, so presumably an infringement at his pit stop, and the treble 8 car had a drive-through penalty as well. So presumably those are infringements at their pit stops. We haven't been given the reasons why as yet. Yes, treble 8 a pit lane infringement. Jack Constable I would expect is the same thing. He's got a stop-go penalty in the Audi. Martin Addison, beautiful Aston Martin Vantage GT4. He's raced Caterhams as well. He raced a Peugeot 106 GTI earlier in his career as well, in the CSCC tin tops. Very different to that Aston Martin. So Chris Bingham is now up into 6th place ahead of Addison. Nathan Wells door-to-door with a Ginetta there I saw through Paddock Hill Bend. There's Jack Constable, he's been in to serve his stop-go penalty, and that's a lovely looking TCR Audi, running in the guest class here this weekend. 12.5 minutes just over of this race to go. 45 minutes does fly by in Britcar. There's James Kellett going into Paddock Hill Bend. He's about 12 seconds down on the 2 leaders now. 1/8 is Mark Skeets in the Ginetta shared with David May. He leads the Ginetta Super Cup class. Main rivals Celio and Anastasia have had to make a second pit stop. Subaru is back in the pits as well, I can tell you. So Jensen O'Neill going. Jack Constable's come in again. That's a 3rd stop for the Audi. There he is. So according to the timing screen, he's been in for a 3rd stop. He's taking his penalty at the moment. Presumably that's for a too short a pit stop. Not taking the minimum time of 150 seconds because, of course, Jack Constable is a pro-graded driver. So he has to take an extra 20 seconds in his pit stop. Perhaps he didn't. Oh, car in the gravel at Paddock Hill Bend. That's number 42, Ginetta. That's Freddie Ingram in the car started by teenager Archie Buttle. Now, can he get out from there, or are we going to have another safety car? He's in a very hazardous position there on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. The yellow flags will be waving. He's trying to get the car going again, Freddie Ingram. That car... Just looking to see where that car was running. It was outside the top 10, certainly yes, 12th place that car was when it spun off. Got a traffic there coming out of Graham Hill Bend along the Cooper Straight. The leaders on the back of all this. He's got all this to negotiate, Adam Smalley. It's 4.8 seconds up now on the Ferrari. There's the BMW of Nathan Wells, which is now in 4th place. And I think the safety car is coming out again. Yes, the safety car is going to be coming out again because that's stranded Ginetta. Great shame for the 2 young guns, Freddie Ingram and Archie Buttle. Trophy category, they were 3rd in class. Trophy being led by Lewis and Garnett in the Project 29-7 car, Paul O'Neill and co.'s team. So safety car with just under 10 minutes of the race to go. Your leader, Don Malone and Adam Smalley in the Amspeed Porsche. Grimes and Molem in the FF Corsa and Red River Ferrari in 2nd place. And the other Amspeed Porsche of Ash Muldoon and James Kellett in 3rd. Nathan Wells in the BMW driving solo in 4th position. Completing the top 5, Lewis and Garnett. They lead the trophy class. Wells leads the GT class. Chris Bingham's Ginetta is 6th. He'd ideally want to be ahead of Nathan Wells and leading his class. There's the safety car coming out to pick up our leader. 7th, it is Martin Addison's Aston Martin. 8th is the Bennett and Daniel Wiley Ginetta G56, the car that started on the front row. 9th place, Nibs and Hills in the number 82 Ginetta. They lead the Ginetta Super Cup class, not a point-scoring car. And Sapper and Bransom's BMW, Jazz Sapper at the wheel, rounding out the top 10. Retirements so far, we lost Bobby Trundley and Asher Silver, Alex Reed and Dan Lloyd into the gravel. And we lost Casey and Medeiros as well. Now we've lost Buttle and Ingram. The Subaru of Turnbull and O'Neill going in the pits as well. And talking of pits, I think we can head down to Amy Palmer in pit lane.
Sorry, we'll go again, it's fine.
Go again.
That was good as well. Sorry about that, was some technical difficulties from our side. I'm joined with Rob Ellick, and you are one of the 8 championship contenders today. How is the race going so far for you guys?
Yeah, it's going fine. Obviously, we missed the last round at Alton Park, so we're just we're just trying to pick up as many points as we can today. I don't actually even know where we are or how many points we need to be in with a chance, to be honest. But I think most people would put it down that the BMW from Team Brit was bank on to win, but they seem like they've had a bit of an unfortunate incident. So I guess everyone's opening their eyes that they could be in with a chance still. So we'll have to see where it looks after the end of this race, I suppose.
It's definitely been a bit chaotic out there. What have you made of all of it?
Yeah, we've kept out of trouble, to be honest, and just made a bit of steady progress, treating it like a bit of a test, like test the car out. Yeah, so it's it's been fine. It's been pretty eventful, but we've kept out of it, luckily. So yeah, it's all right for us.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm going to hand back to Dave in the commentary box.
And you timed that very well, Amy, because we've just gone back to green flag racing. Now the cars can't pass until they cross the start-finish line, so Johnny Molan had to hang back there before he got up alongside Tom McFarlane's VW Scirocco. Likewise for James Kellett in the Amspeed Porsche there, trying to fight their way through the back marks, and that's allowed Adam Smalley to break away again. On the inside there comes the 18 Porsche, past one of the Ginettas. I think that's the 41 car, which has dropped back from its front row start, now in 8th place. So 4 seconds in it between Smalley and Molan now at the front, with 5.5 minutes of the race to go. The 42 car has got going again. The marshal's able to extricate it from the gravel. Bit of damage there on the front of the 297 car of Darron Lewis. Inside, that's Aidan Hills, number 82. Began his career in rallycross in a Suzuki Swift, of all things. Very different to that Ginetta. The back of the 41 car. This is the battle for 8th position now. They're chasing down Martin Addison and Chris Bingham as well. This is 4 position, these 5 cars. In behind the top 3 there. Bit of a lock-up there, big lock-up in fact from the 41, which is Daniel Wiley. All over the tail of number 189, Martin Addison in the Aston Martin now. Now, are we going to see an Amspeed Porsche 1 and 2? Because James Kellett took a couple of tenths out of Johnny Molan there. There is the 42 car of Freddie Ingram. We're told it's Freddie's first ever race today, partnering up. Looks like I've ended in the gravel for him. And I think we can hand down to Amy Palmer in just a moment to talk to the team in a second. Just letting the driver get out of the car and take his crash hat off down there at the moment. And look, while that's going on, we've had a change for second place. James Kellett has taken the Ferrari. Amspeed have really got those Porsches wound up here today, and it looks like they could be heading for a 1-2 finish. To the end of another lap. Adam Smalley clear in the lead in the car started by Don Malone. James Kellett now second. He's just done the fastest lap, 46.4 compared to 46.9 for Adam Smalley. Could we see a fight to the finish between the two Amspeed Porsches? They will want the 74 car to win, as if it does, by my calculations, Malone and Smalley will take the lead of the championship. But meantime, let's quickly hand down to pit lane.
I'm joined here with Freddie Ingram. Your car just came in. Just tell us how that race has gone for you so far.
Well, went out on the second stint, started going well, made a couple of overtakes, got back into the position we was in before the pits, and tried going for an overtake down the first corner, and yeah, guess it didn't really work out. Hit the brakes hard as I couldn't, just went flat to the floor. So I mean, couldn't really do much else, but it's the way it is sometimes.
Am I right in saying that it's your first time racing in a car, not karting? How different has it been to come in here and race on the Britcar today?
Yeah, so it's a lot different. I mean, I've driven cars for 5 years and it's my first weekend, so I mean, it was going good up till that race, but we'll bounce back in race 2 and see where we end up.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Thank you. Back to the commentary box.
Thanks very much, Amy. Yes, just a couple of minutes of the race to go now. And, well, James Kellett is reeling off the fastest laps here. He is reeling in his teammate. The gap is down to 5.3 seconds now. There, we just caught a glimpse of Adam Smalley. I think he's going to do enough to win the race because Kellett, I'm not sure, will have enough time left to catch him. There is the race leader, Adam Smalley. It's going to be yet another win for the Amspeed Porsche, and this, more significantly, with Team Brit out of it, is going to put the Porsche provisionally into the lead of the championship. We'll wait for the Britcar officials to do the mathematics with us later on. There's Rob Ellick and Finn Jones, his car being lapped. Finn Jones at the wheel, of course. We heard from Rob Ellick a moment ago. Cedric Block is lapped as well in the Audi. It's a couple of laps to go now for Adam Smalley. His teammate has got the gap down to just under 4 seconds now. We'll see the second Porsche come through in the background, I would think. TCR cars fighting it out amongst themselves. Cedric Block is an invitation class runner. Jones and Ellick leading the class. They're going to win the TCR category and keep their hopes alive with 30 points. There's the second of the Porsches. Length of the Cooper straight between the two of them now. Coming around to start the final lap, it looks like it is going to be a win for Don Malone and Adam Smalley. Through in the second comes James Kellett. Further back in third, the Ferrari of Bon Grimes and Johnny Molem. Into the final lap of this first race of the day for the Britcar Endurance Championship we go. The Porsche squeezes past Richard Wheeler in the McLaren. Looks in those colours like one of Team Brit's old McLarens, quite possibly. Team Brit not a happy day at all so far. Their BMW out of the race. And it's going to be a win for their title rivals. The Amspeed Porsche heads into the Cooper Straights for the final time. Laps Callum Bates in the BMW. James Kellett in second place. He's going to run out of time to get through the back markers and catch his teammates. The class winners we need to check out as the leader comes up to take the checkered flag. Don Malone and Adam Smalley win our first Britcar race of the afternoon. 4.3 seconds was the gap over Ash Muldoon and James Kellett in second place. Everybody else still racing for the line. Good to see Celio and Anastasius Ginetta is back out there after an extra pit stop. Third place will go to Grimes and Molem in the Ferrari. It's class winners we need to look for. Nathan Wells is going to win the GT class. That's bad news for Chris Bingham for his title hopes. He'll drop points there. The Ginetta class, I think, is going to be won by Michael Nibbs and Aidan Hills, but they're not scoring points. So maximum points goes to May and Skeets, number 118. The Ginetta class title contenders were Anastasi and Celio, but they're further down the order. They had to make an extra stop. So we'll We'll confirm the provisional results in a moment. Then it is a 1-2 for the Amspeed Porsches. Malone and Smalley ahead of Muldoon and Kennett. The Ferrari in third of Grimes and Molam. Nathan Wells a class win in fourth place. Then Bennett and Wiley, they fought back in the closing stage there. Good scrap for fifth position in the end. Chris Bingham was sixth. Then Martin Addison, I think that might spell the end of his title hopes. Then Nibbs and Hills, they win the Ginetta category, but May and Skeets will get the top points there. Lewis and Garnett win the trophy class, but maximum points goes to the Wilsons in number 22. Behind them, Smith and Jones, Sapper and Bransom, and Callum Bates. Further back in the order, the TCR class goes to Jones and Ellick in number 7. And the Cup class, more importantly, goes to the Hayes family in the number 114 car. So I would say now the championship is most likely going to be between Don Malone and Adam Smalley and Chris and Jamie Hayes going into the night race. But we'll confirm that officially with the officials from the Britcar Endurance Championship.